You may know someone without a degree working a job they hate. Heck, you yourself may even look to jobs like retail, working a desk job, or a waiter as a potential means of getting income. Now, there's nothing really wrong with having one of these jobs, but what's next? You gonna ask your nephew to help you use the Facebook? Print out MapQuest driving directions, or ask if you can pay for this by check? What I'm trying to say is these jobs are old. It's 2020, bucko. There are now much more enjoyable and high-paying jobs out there today. And I'm talking jobs you can learn yourself without a college degree. Oh, and no basic run-of-the-mill jobs either. These professions are from the future, my dudes.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
360-degree videography is the newest trending industry that I know of. Most guys that I've spoken with do this that make around 400 plus per video, and that's just starting out. Takes them no time at all to do this either. It's simple. The one guy I know started using the panorama feature on his iPhone, and he had zero experience. You may be wondering, why should you listen to a word that I am saying? Well, just last year, I broke $200,000 in my 20s without a degree. And I'm not saying that to sound like some god-awful guru. I just need you to know that I'm telling you all of this from first-hand experience. Without further ado, here are 10 of the best options. Real quick, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one website you can use to make a full-time income on the internet. Number 10. 360-degree videographer. On average, 360-degree videographers earn around $120,000 per year and can expect around a 20% increase. This is something that you can easily do with your phone nowadays, especially with Panorama and even with some of the newer phones. It's simple. You don't need a ton of money to get involved. You don't need any certifications. But if you decide to get into something like VR, things will definitely take some more time. You're going to have to take time to learn it, and it will, obviously, you have a potential to earn quite a bit more money. The amount of money you earn will all revolve around whether you'd like to go into business for yourself or if you want to find a job doing this. But before we get ahead of ourselves here, if you would like to make a full-time income from your couch and you're interested in videos about making money on the internet and building an online business, consider clicking the subscribe button below and turning on notifications. Quick tip, you also don't need to spend a ton of money on equipment if you decide to up your game a little further down the road. Lens Pro to go, Lens Rentals, and BorrowLenses.com will be your easiest resource. Usually thousands of dollars for some of this equipment, but you're spending pennies on the dollar. Number 9 is a TikTok advertising specialist. Okay, now wait a minute. Before you totally throw this aside, call me a madman, hear me out. TikTok is not just full of cringe little children singing songs. No, there's a huge demographic on there now that ranges from entrepreneurs, realtors, professors. There's a huge range of people on there now. It's not just limited. So that, as it's starting to blow up, as you see here, right, this is Google Trends. If we search TikTok advertising, we can see this is really starting to blow up because TikTok is now starting to allow businesses to advertise on their platform. Previously, it was mainly just larger brands, kind of like the way Snapchat did it. But now that they're allowing more businesses, you're going to see that there's going to be a need for people who know how to advertise on TikTok, the nuances. Just like Facebook, where there's a huge demand for people who are good with Facebook advertising, you're essentially becoming the first to jump on this. So it'll be very easy for you to find work, especially as this starts growing in trend. Now, as far as salary goes, there isn't much, right? This is very new. So what we're going to do is we're going to just look at Upwork and compare it to something like Facebook advertising rates and take a bit off of there just to be conservative, right? My goal here is to provide you real information, not just fluff and to hype you up. I want to give you something that you can actually walk away with. So let's say, for example, we're going to look at Snapchat advertising typical rates. $40 an hour average at 40 hours a week. So $40 is low. 50 is the lowest I could really find here. 66 on average, around $100 per hour on Upwork. We're going to say a conservative amount for $40 an hour, 40 hours a week. That's $76,000 per year running TikTok ads. Now, again, it's still very new, so let's get into some that are more established. Next on this list is an SEO specialist. This is something that I started out with. This is how before working for myself, I took a job at a digital marketing agency near my house, and this is how I learned what I was able to learn to propel me into working on my own. If you're not familiar, basically you're optimizing websites to rank on Google search. Not very difficult. It definitely takes a little bit of learning. A lot of people don't take enough time to do so, and most people are kind of spinning their wheels, but on average, you can make $60,000 per year, and again, you really don't need a ton of learning. Oh, and I mentioned this before, but if you are interested in this type of work that's online, stick around to the end of this video because I'll be mentioning a website you can use to literally start immediately. There's no waiting to get hired, and it's all online. But if you'd like to take some time in order to learn it, it'll take you maybe a few days. Go on YouTube, just search SEO tutorials. Chase Rayner is a great guy to learn from. And yeah, YouTube will be your greatest asset for that. As far as TikTok goes, there isn't much in the way of tutorials yet. So check out Snapchat advertising tutorials just to get the hang of it and to understand what the general process is. Now we're going to go into another one that is also somewhat new, although it is trending. But yeah, this is a somewhat new position. So it would be easy enough to find work, especially if you establish yourself on Google, if you build out an Indeed resume, a profile on LinkedIn. People are searching for this sort of thing. On average, people who have experience charge around $100 per hour to do this. They're building sales funnels. I've made a few videos on this already so far. If that's something you're interested in, the thumbnail, a previous video, maybe like 2 videos ago, was earn $108. The thumbnail has new software. Check it out if you're interested. But either way, sales funnels. You're basically using a software to drag and drop and build websites. It's very simple. It doesn't take a lot of experience to do something like this because it's drag and drop, right? Here's an example of using an editor right here. I don't want to click that video, but if you're interested in learning how to use this, there's that previous video. But yeah, you're basically using a software to build out landing pages for other brands. On average, $100 an hour. So we're going to really be very conservative and say $30 an hour on average for beginners. At 40 hours a week, that's $57,000 per year starting. All of these wages are starting wages. Okay, next on this list is something we're kind of going back and forth here. Definitely something more established, Facebook advertising. This is another one. All it takes is a YouTube search, Facebook ads tutorial, and you'll get the hang of it. There is no, with TikTok, with Facebook, SEO, there is no like industry-wide certifications. Most don't even get valued. So all you need is YouTube, right? You don't need to spend any money, let alone money for college, but you don't need to spend any money to learn it. A few good tutorials. Definitely John Crestani has a great tutorial. Jason Wardrop and Ruan Marino. If you want to check out how to learn how to run Facebook ads. The average salary is around $60,000 per year. And this has some very high growth potential because once you learn, if let's say you get a job at an agency and you learn on their budget or a brand's budget, you learn what works and what doesn't. You can literally breathe life into any business. You can start your own side hustle of any kind, selling anything, and you will have the blueprint for how to grow a business. So that's one of them. Next on this list is a sound engineering technician. The typical salary for this is around $55,000 per year in one of the highest paid entry-level jobs that I could find. If you're interested, check it out. Channel Careers in Personal Finance by Khan Academy, audio engineer. This is a great video to give you a brief little just an overview of what it would take to become a sound engineer, and then what you can expect. Next on this list is a computer security specialist. Typically, you're going to earn a bit higher than this, right? Most base rates that I could find was around $100,000 per year, but when you're just starting out and you don't really have much experience, I would say this could be your starting rate as long as you do take the time and learn. This is definitely one of them with a slightly higher barrier to entry, but that means that less people are going to be competing for this type of work. With SEO, with Facebook advertising, a lot of people are involved. That's not to say it's not easy to get a job, but it will be easier with a job like this with a higher barrier to entry. So if you're interested in getting a position as a computer security specialist, just stick to YouTube, right? That is going to be your greatest asset, but I will leave links for all this stuff in the description. Next on the list, web developer. How much web developer makes? Around a $67,000 per year salary. Again, starting out, if you are somebody that decides to take on work on your own on the side, you can easily charge $500 to $1,000 per 5-page website. And that's something that maybe take you a few hours. So the earnings potential, the growth potential for a job like this is very high. The median, the top of the range working for a company is close to $100,000 per year. So that shows you that, if you are earning this for someone else, that odds are you can make at least double this on your own because they're getting a return on their investment by paying you this amount. But if you'd like to learn how to be a web developer, sound like a broken record here, YouTube, website development tutorial, learncode.academy has been one of the best. But honestly, you really don't need to become a programmer to be a web developer these days. With WordPress, with the drag and drop builders, all you need to do is look up on YouTube how to use Thrive Builder, how to use WordPress, and you can get yourself a job. A tip to do so: build a small website for yourself, for your family member, and if you'd like to apply to get a job, use that in your application process. Same with SEO. If you want to get a job as an SEO, the fastest way to do that, build a small website and rank it. If you're in a city, you can rank it for SEO plus city, whatever city you're in, and I'm telling you, it will be so easy for you to get that job. And it's not going to be that difficult to rank when as long as you're not like in New York City or something, right? Next on the list, gaming manager. This is a position where you're working at casinos. Typically, you're overseeing a lot of what is happening, a lot of people's betting, and overall just managing the in and outs of a casino. You can average around $62,000 per year. There are some minor certifications, but overall, not something that will take super long to learn, at least not as long as something like a computer security specialist / analyst. So check that out. Average salary $62,000 a year. Last but not least, an electrical and electronics repairer. The typical rate in most states is around $65,000 per year. This is something that has a slightly higher barrier, the highest, honestly, on this list, barrier to entry, which is why it's last. If you're interested, there are links for all of these positions in the video description, but for this, you're basically going to be working with commercial and industrial equipment. You're going to be performing maintenance, regular maintenance on this equipment, and you're also going to be working on the assembly of this equipment. Now, a lot of these jobs pay well, but the problem is that you're still juggling a job, friends, family, while being stuck, waking up early, dealing with these stressful coworkers, and still not having enough time in the day for the stuff that makes life worth it. There is one website that I would choose, that I recommend to everyone that I meet that is looking. $1,000 per month, this is the website. And I'm going to be sharing that with you in a second. But before that, before I got to the point of having my own office, being where I am today, working my own hours, I was working a 9 to 5, right? In the Florida heat, like I live in Florida, and I was working in the heat in a Tyvek suit doing manual labor, working with fiberglass. I hated it. Not only was I just like physically hating it, right? Coming home covered in fiberglass dust, but every day, right? Sunday nights were the worst, thinking about waking up. And every day, waking up, the repetition, it was just mind-numbing. It went on, that same thing went on for so long. You know, if I just look back and wish I could just shake myself. It went on for so long until I finally tried to make some money online, right? I wanted to give it a shot. Well, I wound up failing. Over and over. And I thought really everybody was lying. There's no way that this actually works. I was at my wit's end, and I didn't think this worked. I thought everybody was renting stuff and faked it all. But when I finally met a few of the guys who I consider some of my closest friends today, that is when everything changed. Since then, I wake up when I want, not covered in fiberglass. We live in a condo right on the beach, and I could spend as much time with my family as I want. And that changed when I finally started listening to people who had what I wanted. Years ago, though, before this, we were spending an entire year. We were renting a room in a house with 3 other roommates. They were a bit older. They loved to drink and smoke quite a bit, which attracted a very shady audience. It just made life difficult, right? All those people there going in my kitchen in the morning, it was just uncomfortable, and obviously sleeping normal hours was out. So with that negative experience, before I got to where I am today, we had a conversation. I spoke to my wife and asked her, now that I'm at the point of making this full-time passive income thing, now that I'm here, where would you want to live if you could pick anywhere? And she picked the beach, and that's where we're living now. We went from that tiny apartment to living in a condo that is literally 4 times the size of that full thing just for us. At this point, right where I am today, I can honestly say that I'm in a mindset, and every day has been millions and light years ahead of anywhere where I've ever been in my life, right? I'm at a point where I feel free. I don't feel anxiety like I did. Obviously not every day is just the, sunshine and daisies, but for the most part, when you look at it compared to my previous, it's incredible. I'm living a life where I can literally just grab my laptop, work from wherever I want, whenever I want. And so that's what I want to share with you, right? If you want to learn how to create a full-time passive income online, I know this sounds buzzwordy, but just don't tune it out because of that. Where you can make money literally while you sleep, while you travel, or whatever you want to do, right? Play video games. I don't care. Whatever you want to do, if you would like to do that, check out the link below in the video description, and I'll be sharing with you exactly how you can do that. But if you'd like to just stick to the simplicity of it all, feel free, no pressure. Check out my free YouTube videos. Consider clicking that subscribe button below. Like this video if you got any value from it, and let me know in the comments what you thought.